will be right here in Antalya, Turkey, where the wind is picking up. You saw it just a moment ago, and we'll, I'm sure, notice that more and more as the day goes on, becoming more of a factor. Time for the gold medal match for the ladies. And in the women's gold medal match, it will be Japan taking on Korea. Japan, the 15th seed, coming into Antalya this week. Of course, a month ago in Shanghai, the team from Chinese Taipei, fresh off an upset of Korea, faced the 6th-seeded Ukrainians and cruised to a win on that day. That was the first World Cup team gold medal ever for Chinese Taipei. Now, it's the team from Japan that is center stage here in the gold medal match. They defeated China by 8 this week, Italy by 4, and the Ukrainians by 6. Their lineup includes Yuki Hayashi, Ayano Kato, and Kaori Kawanaka. Now the top seeds from Korea entering the scene, led by Kibo Bae. She'll be joined today on the field of play by Chang Ha-jin and Yoon Oh-ki, a very powerful lineup for this powerful Korean team, which this week defeated the Republic of Georgia 219 to 185. Got by India by 3, also got by the Russian Federation by 3. So they have been tested a little bit this week, Jake.
Yeah, on both the men and women's side, Korea's been getting pushed pretty hard, definitely. So
yeah, when you're the top dog, there's kind of a target on your back, isn't there?
Oh yeah, always. Everybody seems to pull the scores out when it counts, or when they feel like they need to, or maybe they feel like that they've given up already, and then they just pull it out. So it happens.
They shoot more relaxed.
Yes.
Well, we'll see how it goes this morning between Korea and Japan. This is the first of 2 meetings between these two countries. We'll see Korea and Japan again in the men's gold medal match in just a little while at this glorious setting here on Kunialti Beach. But a good look at Kibo Bae, ranked #1 in the world. And well, she should. She was on the Olympic gold medal team that defeated the Chinese team by 1 point in London, then won the individual gold medal herself, defeating Mexico's Ido Roman by 1 arrow in a shoot-off, and she begins with a 10. So the Koreans come right out and show they mean business.
That's right.
That'll be an 8 just outside for Chang Ha-jin, ranked 46th in the world. And this is Yoon Oh-ki, who is back on the world stage after a 3-year, I guess you could call it, hiatus. So a 10, a 9, and an 8 to start off for Team Korea. So the Japanese women have had a chance to watch, see, try to get a feel for the wind. And there's a 9 to start off for Japan.
Olympic bronze medalist, Kawanaka.
Kaori Kawanaka. An interesting story this past week. She shoots a 9. We'll get into that in just a few moments. But she was part of a controversy this past week that almost cost this Japanese team a chance to get to this gold medal match.
Oof. I clicked away before she was ready to shoot.
Fortunately, she's still got some time on the clock.
That's right. That's the benefit of these quick shot styles, is having lots of time to play with. She does well with it. She picks up a 10, so she let down when it counted.
Yuki Hayashi made the right decision, pulled it back, gathered herself, and shot a 10. So Japan with the early 1-point lead as Korea comes up with a 9 on the shot by Kibo Bae. Right on the line, but it'll count as a 9. Chang Ha-jin.
And 9 points.
Also picking up 9 more points. And it falls to Yoon Oh-ki to take the final shot of this first end for Korea. Yoon Oh-ki
Princess with an 8.
with an 8. So 2 8s. A little surprising to see Korea shooting 8s.
Yeah.
Opportunity for Japan.
Ayano Kato, 20 years old, competing in her first World Cup event and competing well.
Okay.
Kawanaka with a 7,
Okay, 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 okay.
although they put the star by that, so it could be an 8. They'll take a closer look at the end of this end. Judges will give it a close inspection.
8 points.
And 8 more points.
Officially,
So we're tied at the end of the first end at 53 all, so those 2 8s didn't hurt Korea all that much.
No. It's interesting to see the Korean that shot the 8 on the last one there. She has 2 different colored spin wings, which you really don't see that often because they're different stiffnesses, the different colors, so they can affect the arrow flight trajectory, and it's just surprising to see a team such as Korea have somebody doing that.
Personal preference?
I mean, it could be a personal preference. It might be a different company, but normally that doesn't happen. Especially Korea, you know, you would think they would really make sure everything that they have that they're using is uniform or correct and very, you know, obviously give them the best chance to shoot a 10.
There's your scores, and you have to wonder if Japan just let an opportunity go by the wayside.
Yeah, it may be. There's not many teams that can hang with Korea. If you can hang with Korea, I think at the end you'll end up coming out on top.
Tied at 53 all after the first 6 arrows. 4 ends to be shot all together. 6 arrows in each end. Each archer shooting 2 arrows.
So we're back to the original shooting order. Korea shooting first.
And we're all even as we begin the second end here in Antalya. By the way, in Antalya, they all want to wish you a Babalar Gununush, which means Happy Father's Day.
Yes.
Or something like that. I think I'm close.
Sounds good to me.
Korea to shoot first, and Kibo Bay, who had an amazing year in 2012, starts off with a 9. Followed up by Cheng Hai-jin, who won a team gold medal in Shanghai in 2012 herself. And now Yuno Ki. Back in 2008, she came on the World Cup scene, won 6 medals, made the World Cup finals in Lausanne. And that shows you the strength of the Koreans. So strong in recurve competition. So now it's up to the team from Japan to answer. Ayano Kato, the 20-year-old. And Kato has shot well so far, a 9 and a 10 in their first 2 shots, but this one outside those gold rings in the 8 ring. Now here's Kaori Kawanaka, who was involved in a scorecard controversy this past week. Nails a 10. She failed to fill in 1 number on the scorecard, is the story that I got, Jake.
Yeah.
Because of that, she was heavily penalized, which could have cost Japan a shot at getting to this gold medal match.
Yeah, they were lucky to even qualify for this.
There's another 9 on the line.
Because in the World Cup circuit, if you don't sign your scorecard, you lose all your points. But if you don't have a proper score, 10s or 9s or X's or even the total score, you lose all that value that is incorrect.
She lost a lot of value, dropped her down, dropped her team down, and they had to fight their way back. As you said, lucky to qualify and get into this gold medal match, which Korea is now starting to assert itself in here in the second end. I'd say they're dialed in.
Yep. Shows why they're the best in the world.
Incredible composure laser focus.
10
And the results of practice, 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 and more practice.
Yes.
So they start off the end with a 9 and then finish it off with 5 straight bullseyes. But Japan fighting back. Kato with a great shot.
自分のタイミングでいこう、自分のタイミングで。
Now Kiori Kawanaka, the Olympic team bronze medalist. And Kawanaka
前の前。
close to that line again.
自分のタイミングでいこう、タイミングで。
But right now Japan needs Yuki Hayashi to shoot a 10,
No.
and it's not even close.
Yeah, she had the same problem she had the first end where it clicked too early on her, but she wasn't able to control it that time.
Explain that a little bit more by what you mean it clicked too early.
Well, there's a clicker, so it basically it sits on the arrow, and as you pull back, it gets closer and closer to the point. It's basically a draw check. So when it clicks, you're always at the same exact draw length, and on a recurve, there's no draw stop like a compound. So you could keep pulling until you pulled the string off the bow. But every inch you pull the bow back, it's 2 pounds more after 28 inches. So at that, you know, using an arrow that weighs next to nothing, you know, an ounce or 2 ounces of weight difference pushing that arrow can make a difference of huge amounts at over 70 meters away. So
Obviously it made a difference right there as she basically lost control of it, shot a 2. You can see that arrow down there at the bottom of the target. They haven't gotten to it yet. All the others, and now they reach down and get that out of the 2 ring. But obviously not what the Japanese were hoping for. They were in it midway through the second end, almost arrow per arrow with Korea, but Korea puts up a 59 in that second end. Japan posts the score of 47, and so all of a sudden, a match that was tied at 54 after the first 2 arrows.
On target number 2, as we're back underway.
Now is a 12-point deficit for Japan, 113 to 101. Korea vying for another gold medal. Of course, they'll be after a lot of hardware here today on the beach in Antalya, Turkey. As Japan, trailing in the match, shoots first. And a nice shot to get it started for Ayano Kato.
イメージ作ろう、イメージ作ろう。
Kato has shot well.
Okay, okay.
Kawanaka a little bit high, though. And now Hayashi, who's got a lot of experience. Now, she's done this before. We saw her do this in the first end. Takes her time, lines it up, and it pays off.
it does, but I think it's a little too late now. The strong team like Korea, 12-point lead, 12 arrows left.
You wouldn't expect any one of these 3 ladies to shoot a 2 at any point from here on out.
But you never know. Things happen.
8 points.
Not many countries have 3 strong shooters like these guys do, so that's why they are so dominant. You know, other countries may have 1 or even 2 good shooters, but you're only strong as your weakest link. So.
And Korea seems to have them waiting in the wings.
Oh, they do. It's incredible. At their national events, they'll have hundreds of people shoot over 1,300, which is incredible. In America, we'll have maybe 4 or 5.
Which means the competition within the team is intense.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, in America, if you win a world team trials on compound, it's arguably harder than the world championships will be because there is such a depth in the compound side in America. So I imagine it's probably the same thing on Korea.
In Korea, yes. And I've noticed that now we're not in an Olympic year. They're starting to bring out some more of those younger archers and giving them an opportunity to get on the world stage, get some of that experience. And see what happens over the next 3 or 4 years as they head towards the next Olympics in Rio.
Yeah, they, you know, their system, their younger shooters shoot so many more arrows than their top pros per se. Only because the pros have already gotten there, so they're just maintaining. These kids that are at the bottom shoot, you know, almost 1,000 arrows a day every day, which is insane. But that allows them to shoot well. But usually when they get on the pro circuit, they shoot less arrows and then they end up falling back because they weren't actually ready to be there. They're just on top because they shot so many arrows.
Of course, Jake KAMINSKI shoots 1,000 arrows a day, doesn't he?
No, no way. I can't afford to do that. My body wouldn't deal with it. You know, the support staff that they have is unparalleled compared to what I have. I'm on my own. I live by myself. Well, I live with my wife, but I'm basically by myself away from any of my colleagues or competitors in America. So any sort of physical therapy, rehab, anything is all on my own, and they
it's
have
out of
a
your
support
pocket,
staff for them. Yeah.
So what would your training regimen look like?
I mean, I shoot a FITA every day at least, so it's at least 150, 200 arrows a day, 6 days a week. But I'd like to shoot a little bit more. It's just I don't have a house yet. I want to buy a house so that way I can shoot in my backyard, and that way I can just go outside and shoot whenever I want.
Plus, you have to factor in the time spent walking.
Yeah, lots of time walking.
It's not just shooting those arrows; it's going and retrieving them.
Yeah. That's why I shoot 12 arrows an end, so I have to walk half as much. But
third end is over here, and Japan with 153 points after 18 arrows. But Korea in control right now. Took control in that second end when Japan shot a 2. And there you see the difference, 166 points, a 13-point lead for Korea. So a tall mountain to climb for the Japanese archers here in the gold medal match. Somewhat anticlimactic gold medal match. First match of the day, a little bit closer. The Ukraine beating the Russian Federation 214 to 200. We've got 2 more matches coming up this morning. After this, one is concluded. And we'll see Japan again taking on Korea in the men's gold medal match. So all set for the final 6 arrows to be shot by both of these teams. Japan trailing on target number 2 to go first, Ayano Kato. Good experience for her, only 20 years old, her first World Cup event, and she gets to a gold medal match. You can't simulate this kind of setting and this kind of pressure and this kind of situation and atmosphere. You just got to go out and get into one of these matches to experience it and know that and have that as a base for future experience and future matches like this.
Yes, exactly, and it's good that she's shooting well in her first final, so hopefully that'll get her momentum into the next events in the future.
And she is shooting well. Shot a bullseye with that first shot of the 4th end. In fact, you could argue that Ayano Kato has been the best shooter thus far in this match for the Japanese team. Another nice shot, though, right there for Hayashi. Yuki Hayashi on the 8th place women's team for Japan in Beijing at the 2008 Olympic Games. And now Kibo Bay. A year ago, competed in only 2 stages on the World Cup circuit, 5 events, and won gold medals in 3 of the 5. Ranked number 1 in the world. A little bit off target that time by Cheng Hai-jin. And by the way, the woman you saw in that shot right there, she's pretty far away from the target, so she's safe.
Yeah, she's about 30 meters to the right of the target.
Yeah. Sometimes the camera angles make it look as though they're a little bit closer than they should be.
That's right.
So Korea starts off 10, 8, and 9. Or excuse me, 9, 8, and 9 here in the 4th end.
8 points.
And Kawanaka with her final shot. of this match.
차.
Bullseye.
오케이. 차.
Final arrow for Team Japan.
So Yuki Hayashi to take the last shot. For the Japanese women.
알아이.
Fifth shot.
And she finishes off in style.
오케이.
It's kind of like golf. You want your last shot of the day to be a good one, so you can walk away from the course feeling all right about things.
Yeah, it definitely helps. No matter how rough a day is, if you end on a good one, you can be happier about it.
Kibo Bay all business.
Korea's the only team so far that seems to have the wind down. Everybody else is aiming off too much on the strong side, and it's showing in their scores.
Nine, and Korea clinches the gold medal.
And there's the shot that clinches it for Korea. Chang Hae-jin, ranked 46th in the world, 26 years old. And now Yuno Ki, whom we'll see this afternoon in the medal matches, the individual medal matches. Yuno Ki, a two-time medalist at the Olympics in Beijing, and there you see it, a bullseye to finish it off.
Wins the gold.
So 221 to 208, your final score.
Bronze medal women's team from London.
And the silver medal goes to Japan. The gold medal goes to Korea. Could be the first of several gold medals we'll see Korea pick up today.
More than likely, yeah.
Canada World Cup.
So the reversal of fortunes came about midway through that second end. Japan was hanging with Korea. They had shot a 10 on the fourth shot of the second end, then an 8, but a 2 by Yuki Hayashi on the final shot of the second end. Spelled disaster for Japan and means that Korea goes on and gets the gold medal, and Japan has to settle for the silver. So it's all over. Tied at 54 after the first 6 arrows, but after 12 arrows, a 12-point difference.
As you can see, though, that Japan pretty much kept up with Korea the other ends. If they wouldn't have faltered that second end, the tables could have turned.